We're going to take a look at the browser exploitation framework, otherwise known as BeEF. I've got the BeEF XSS framework right here. I'm going to click on it, and we're going to wait for BeEF services to be started. Once BeEF services are started, we need to hook a browser. And let me just go back here because it says what you can do is you can create a page and plug this into the page. And so in our case, for 127.0.0.1, I'd plug in 192.168.86.22. I could plug that into a web page, and then I could get somebody to go to that web page, and then I would have hooked their browser. I'm going to just log in. Username is BeEF and password by default is BeEF. What I can do is just go to the basic demo page. And at this point, I should be hooked into BeEF. And so what I should be able to do is browse around here. And I can go back to the BeEF control panel. And what I've got is a listing of information about my browser. Now I can go to the logs here and notice what is going on with my browser. You can see that I did some typing, and that's one thing that I've got with BeEF is I can grab keystrokes. I've got the browser windows lost focus, appears to have come back online. So I've got a number of events here that have taken place and shows up in the logs. I can start issuing commands to the browser as well. I could detect whether the browser has real player support, for example. I could run that, and it looks like we didn't get anything back from there. So I could remove a hook element. I could unhook the browser, detect whether there's a pop up blocker in place or not. I've got the ability to start passing commands back to my hooked browser and doing a number of interactions with the browser that I have access to. I can get a lot of data and start interacting with the browser in different and interesting ways to start creating attacks on the client side, which is the browser. This is similar to some of the other attacks that we've talked about before, using MSF console, for example, or even some of the fuzzing attacks that we were looking at. In this case, we've got an entire browser exploitation framework that we can use to start going after web browsers on the client side. What I'm doing here is just against my local browser. In order to go after remote browsers, what I would have to do would be to set up a page with that JavaScript built into it and then try to lure people to come to that page so that I could hook their browser and start gaining access to it using the BeEF framework.